Hi. So, on my birthday, I got into a car wreck. Happy birthday to me. So, my friend James Rath, you might know him. I've collaborated with him in the past. He flew down here to Charlotte and we took a road trip to Wilmington for a few things. One, we wanted to finish up some documentary stuff of his from years ago. And we wanted to film some collabs together. And we wanted to go see the One Tree Hill locations because I finally finished it. And I was gonna go to Wilmington anyways. Well, the plan originally got ruined, but I wanted to go anyway to see the One Tree Hill locations. But also, I found out that Scream 5 was filmed in Wilmington. So I thought, on my actual birthday, I wanted to go see as many Scream 5 locations as possible. And we went to a few of them until I made a turn to go into another road. And all of a sudden, we got hit by a car. My 7-month-old baby, my Toyota Corolla, got smacked into. James himself has done a video on his perspective, so I'll link that down below if you want to go see that. And like he said in his video, no, he was not driving my car. The blind man was not driving my car. I know a few of you wanted him to drive my car for a collaboration video, but no, that did not happen. The exact details of the actual crash itself is now an absolute blur. It's all a she said situation because the cops weren't there. There was one witness, but I don't know what she said. Me, from my perspective, like I said, I was doing a turn to go into another road. At least 5 seconds and more later, there was just a hit. And I don't even remember feeling the impact of the actual hit. What I do remember is getting hit, moved to the right, and then smacked into my window. We got hit on the left side, on the driver's side, my side, in the back. So she hit the back tire and ripped that, and yeah. And then I also remember being spun around. So we got hit, spun around, like I want to say 2 times, and then it stopped, and then we skidded back into a curb. The other driver claims that it's my fault, but in a 35-mile-an-hour lane, I don't think that she would have hit me as hard as she did if she was going as slow as she was supposed to be, if she was following the speed limit. And also, again, there was a good amount of time for her to stop. So if she was paying attention, if it was me, if I was the driver, I would be paying attention. I see somebody making a turn, and I would have slowed down. Like I said, the actual details are a blur. There's no actual video footage of the accident and It's she said. And honestly, I'm over that. Obviously, I wanted to express what I believe happened, but there's no use spreading over. I was spreading over it for days, but now it's like, what's gonna happen? Obviously, James and I are okay. I did get a mild concussion. I went to urgent care a few hours later, and I had a big triangular knot in my head because I hit that window pretty hard. James seemed fine for a while, but obviously, if you watch his video, he went to the doctor later on because he feels like then he started getting some pain and stuff. Nobody got any tickets. Nobody got any citations. It was taking our reports and then getting our cars, well, my car, towed and moving on. Here's a picture of the damage, and the shop says that it's fixable, and we're waiting on parts. Can I please talk about my insurance? So right now I'm renting out a Kia Soul, which is a cute little car on the outside, but the inside is, it just doesn't run as smoothly as a Toyota Corolla. Not even close. There's no comparison. But I do like that it's way more roomy. That makes it more comfortable for me with my chronic pain and stuff. But right now, all the stress with the actual accident itself is done with. I'm over it. You can't change the past, But my insurance, State Farm, I should have taken the Kia back by now. They want me to drive it all the way back to Wilmington because it's too many miles for them to bring my car back. So I have to go drop the Kia back to Wilmington and then go pick up my car whenever it's fixed and drive all the way back here. But I should have done that already, days ago. But my insurance let the car sit at the tow yard for a couple of days after we authorized it to be moved because someone at the insurance company didn't want to pay the storage fee to move it. So that was like about a week of it just sitting there and taking up time. So that's annoying. And with COVID and everything, getting parts in can take a while. So I don't really know where we are with that. I know they must have ordered parts, but I'm not really sure if they've gotten any, if they started on it yet. We're gonna have to make a phone call probably Monday or Tuesday. So this is not my first rodeo with car wrecks. I don't know what it is. People like to hit me. I made a video a couple years ago. It's private now because I didn't realize there was private information displayed in the video. A 19-year-old, well, now I don't know how old he is now, but a teenager, barely an adult, had hit my truck and totaled that. And, that was a whole doozy. And I had my issues with dealing with mostly the hospital. But here, I had a lot of issues with the cops. The EMT was great. The EMT was actually pretty nice. He was probably the easiest of everyone to understand because he just had a real loud voice that he could project very well. Oh, but then when the cops came, that's when we had an issue. The woman saw me on FaceTime with my dad. I was trying to show him the damage. And she came up to me and she was trying to, talk. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. She's like, well, you understood the EMT guy. And I'm like, well, he's him, you're you. Like, me understanding one person doesn't mean I'm gonna understand you. And she keeps talking. And I'm like, I can't understand you. I'm deaf. And she's like, well, how are we gonna communicate? And that question was just so bizarre to me. Like, you've never dealt with deaf people before, or had any training in regards to possibly dealing with a deaf person while you're out and about and having these situations. And I just looked at her and I kid you not, I was like, I don't know, get a sign language interpreter? I was just like so bizarre. Like, I'm sorry, why are you getting upset with me? Because I can't understand. You're like, well, how are we gonna communicate then? It's like, what? And then James stepped in because obviously he's hearing. They weren't gonna take his statement because he's blind. But they kept using him as like this middleman to relay everything to me. I had never been so frustrated during such a time. And this has happened to me many times, somebody using a hearing person to relay things to me. But there was just something about right here in this moment. Because, it's illegal to have, well, in this case, he's not interpreting a sign language for me. But say, like, I'm a deaf woman, like, say I had kids, right? And they were hearing, and then they would tell the hearing children to interpret for me, or the hearing friend, or whatever, they would interpret to me instead of getting a sign language interpreter, or doing literally anything else, like getting a pen and paper. So, you're not supposed to do that. I know James was also just trying to be helpful, and I'm not faulting him at all. This is not his fault. I'm not angry with him. But every time, they would just, like, ignore me. I mean, they would come up to me, and they would, like, ask me, for my side of the story, and they would have him relay it. And I was just like, you couldn't get a pen and paper? The thing with using someone as a middleman and having them relay everything to me, it's like playing telephone. And in telephone, you miss things, right, when you relay it to the next person. And sometimes the sentence that was created at the end of the line or at the start of the line is not the same once it gets to the end of the line. And in situations like this, I don't want to misunderstand anything. We're having authorities involved. We're having legal stuff involved. There's going to be insurance involved. I don't want to get anything wrong. And I don't want James risking getting anything wrong and trying to relay all this information to me. But it's just like they weren't having it, and it was just every single time they talked to him to relay the information to me, and that's what we were supposed to do. And I know they had pen and paper. The guy that was doing the report had pen and paper. I know everybody else is gonna have pen and paper. Oh, they could have used my phone to type stuff up. But the whole thing felt very uncomfortable, and I think James was feeling the same way at the time it happened. I think we had a conversation about this. I think everything was feeling a little bit judgmental because you had a deaf person driving and a blind person as a passenger. And we were two disabled people trying to figure out communication, and it's so easy to try to take advantage of us. It's easier for the other person, the driver that hit me, to take advantage of that. And so yeah, that was something. I need to do like an article for Queen Study Nerve, a newspaper that I write for occasionally, on that, because it's just something that has been sticking with me and I don't like it. Nobody likes it. It's a huge issue when it comes to, deaf people and its lack of communication from authority figures, or lack of efficient communication from authority figures. But yeah, it's been a stressful couple weeks. Like I said, we're both fine physically. I mean, we got banged up a little bit, at the beginning, but I think now we're pretty much okay. Like my concussion's gone. I did finally get a massage, a medical massage, and my back was an absolute wreck. Because I also had one. I've had one since June. So dealing with that and just not having one in general in a long time because of my chronic pain, I need them somewhat regularly. Oh, it was a doozy. I almost cried on the table. Emotionally, I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. The crash is done. There's no use trying to, pretend I'm that woman on the show, Unforgettable. That was a very good show, by the way. I'm sad it's gone. And, trying to, put pieces and back together. It definitely was stressful getting back into a car. Because, when you are the driver, you are responsible for everybody in your car. So, obviously, when the car was done doing its little spinning thing, I was trying to make sure that James was alright. And James, if you watch this video, he was freaking out thinking that I died or I was seriously injured because the coffee spilled on him. That part of the video made me a big softie. Thanks, James. But yes, I was okay, nausea and stuff, but I was fine. It was just the coffee, and I'm glad the coffee was an iced coffee and not a hot one, because that would have been a whole extra issue attached to him. So, I gotta make sure that he's okay, so I'm happy that if we're gonna get hit, it's on my side, because I'm gonna deal with the brunt of it, because I would feel horrible if something happened to him, so, or anyone that's in my car. Right now, it's just the stress. I just want my car back, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, nobody's gonna let me drive again, they're not gonna give me my car back, and my friend wanted to slam me. She's like, your anxiety is giving me anxiety, and I need you to stop. It's a little bit easier for me to get back on the road. We did have to go back the same way when we went to go look at the One Tree Hill locations. We had to go right past the car wreck site, straight ahead this time instead of turning in. And that gave me a little bit of a panic attack. I remember once, a couple days ago, my dad and I were going somewhere, and the station that he was listening to, it suddenly changed to this woman talking, and the sound was so much louder than the rest of it, and it actually sounded to me, my hearing and all that, sounded to me like someone hit the car. It had that same impact sound or feel. My entire chest hurt so much. And I was like, oh my god, we just got hit again. We didn't get hit. It was some random woman on the radio talking, and I was like, oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. But yeah, it's a little bit easier driving out on the road, although I still don't like turning. No, I really don't like turning. I don't like people being near me. I think as long as I'm not near Wilmington, I'm a little bit more fine. But since I have to go take that car back to Wilmington to get my car, I'm not entirely sure I'm looking forward to it. Which is sad, because it was my first time in Wilmington. We were both really, really looking forward to seeing everything as much as we could. Weather also put a damper on our plans, but a lot of it was just the emotional distress from everything that happened. But I do know that sometime in the future, I told James this, that eventually we can do this again. We'll take a road trip, we'll have a different car, we'll have a more roomy car. What is English? And hopefully things will be a lot more chill. But no more looking up horror movie filming locations, I guess, because clearly that does not do well with me. Again, we're okay. We're both making videos on this. I know he was not able to upload anything else until he talked about this, and I figured I'll talk about it too. And then hopefully we can both move on. I still gotta wait. It won't be completely over until I get my car back. But for the most part, I'm not freaking out about it as much as I was the first week of it all happening. It wasn't a terrible birthday though. I would like a do-over on that. I would like a do-over on my birthday. Can I go? Thank you for listening to the whole story if you made it this far. And hopefully soon I will come to you with more content, a couple more Film Fridays that I'm excited to film about, actually. No collabs with James though. Sorry, hopefully next time. Thank you for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I should say I will see you later. Bye.